How are you today? Hey, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna give you guys an in-depth look of the Lance 1575. I'm gonna do the exterior portion and Mookie's gonna do the interior fitting. That's how we do things anyways. So we're starting with the front here, and you can see that we have a torsion bar set up, or anti-sway bar. We got ours through Husky. Probably don't need it, but I feel like it's better safe than sorry. We can definitely tell that it helps with the sway when we're on the highways, especially passing semi-trucks, and because of that, we keep it. We also have this addition right here, is the it's for the brake control for the RV brakes. Sorry for all the So Lance 1570, that doesn't come with the Lance 1575, but I'm just starting from the front and going to the back, and that's what we have. So with the Lance, what comes with the Lance? Oh, one more add-on that doesn't come with the Lance is this is called a jacket, and what we do is we could put two bicycles mounted up here in between our towing vehicle and the Lance. It doesn't get in the way. It's awesome. I have the arms stored underneath, and you guys will see those in a little bit, and the reason is because we're actually getting ready to put the Lance 1575, or as we call it, Peanut, into storage for about probably 3 or 4 weeks, so depending on what we're gonna do. All right, so let's go to the Lance itself. Okay, so the Lance comes with a smart jack. It is awesome. One of the coolest features that comes with it, so you can see when you go down, it's automatic. We put a block underneath here that we have that helps tremendously, so you don't have to go all the way up and all the way down. But this is the coolest feature. Press it. You want to come a little bit closer?
Sure.
So if you check out what I'm doing, if you press the down arrow, 1, 2, 3, hold it down on the third one. Up. 1, 2, 3. Hold it down. You're messing with me now.
Maybe it's not down far enough.
Maybe it's not down far enough. Yeah, let's bring it down farther. But it automatically comes all the way up.
Retracts.
It retracts automatically, which is really cool. And maybe it needs to be farther. I've never done it this short, so that actually kind of makes sense. So let's see. All right, let's try it again here. This is pretty far right here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. And you see it goes up automatically. I can go do other work while this thing is retracting when it's time to leave. Moving on. While this is retracting, we're gonna go into the propane and battery storage area. So this is just a plastic material, but it is a pretty nice cover. It comes with a 20-pound gas tank, and I'll tell you, we have gone on, if you do a total days, we've probably ran our propane tank 6 days now, and it's still pretty full. And we run it just on our fridge though, and it's pretty good, I'd say. Here is our lithium battery. We upgraded to the lithium because I didn't want any maintenance, for one, and for two, lithium batteries last a lot longer. Our battery meter, I'm sure Mookie will show you later on, is still full, and we do run things on battery. We haven't boondocked it all, but we do run things on battery. Moving on. I know this is an in-depth, so I'm trying to be as in-depth as possible.
I can say something really quick.
You can go for it.
So with the propane tank, there is a gauge. So because this is one of the smaller Lances that's offered, there is no actual gauge that tells you how much propane is left in the tank.
No.
So you're really left to know by weight.
Yeah.
So you really should know how much the weight of a full propane tank is and have a scale to do so if you're concerned about that. We have talked about, you know, if we get...
What are you looking at?
The propane tank. If we get concerned about the level of propane we have do have extra propane tanks that size that we can bring with us and we would do that if we needed to.
Yeah, we're trying, I mean, if you're like us and you want to save a little bit of money, we do plan on filling these up at a propane site where they actually fill up your own propane tank instead of changing out. So something that a lot of people don't know is that it's very easy and convenient. If you go to the grocery store and you just change out your propane tank, it doesn't seem like it's that expensive, but pennies equal dollars, and dollars equal, you know, over time. So you can save a lot of money by having your tank filled up instead of switching out with another tank.
One more thing about the propane that I was going to say is that we do run our stove and our oven when we need to on the propane. And when we are at an RV park, we don't use the propane for the refrigerator. We use the electric for the refrigerator. Yeah. We use the propane when we're traveling for the refrigerator.
Yeah, but we run it for, you know, usually no less than 15 hours before we go on a trip and our drive. So it really runs for like 18 hours straight off of the propane alone before we even get to any spot. All right, so one thing I learned, and here's an in-depth for y'all. The first time we went out, I was using these Camco blocks because I didn't want to bring the stabilizers down all the way, because I was like, why bring them down all the way? It'll save me time if they're only go halfway down. The RV shook a lot. Every time our daughter moved, the RV would shake. So I was like, you know what? Let's see if I take out the Camco blocks and bring it all the way down. And I'll tell you that the boat is not rocking as much as it once was. So bring it all the way down if you can. You'll see when we get to the back, I do have some Anderson blocks on there just because it was just too long. So the more you can extend them, the less it shakes. So there's something to learn. So more in depth with the Lance 1575, you do have lights on either side, and I apologize. We do have stuff in here. It's not much, but we do have some stuff in here. There's the arms for the bike rack. But the storage area is huge. There was an option to get a slide out for the storage compartment, but I looked at it and it really comes to like this area, and I feel like, and it comes up a little bit. So I felt like I was gonna be cheated out of storage area just to save myself by coming in and out to grab things. And I'd rather have a little bit more storage than convenience, to be honest. It's not that inconvenient for me to get my body in there and grab things or put things in. I've been pretty safe about how I store things. I put rugs and carpets down to make sure there's no scratching, and eventually I might actually carpet the ground of it. I don't know yet. Don't want to say anything because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The storage is huge, as you can see. So let's move on.
One thing I wanted to say about the storage and the slide out is that also adds extra weight, and your extra weight available to add to this RV is really not much. It's less than 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, because you're on a single axle, so you want to really be smart about how you're rolling with a single axle. All right, so what I haven't shown yet is this is your slinky compartment, and I have two Camco stinky slinkies that fit in there together, and it is awesome. A little note for those of you guys that are new that I learned is I capped off both sides of my stinky slinky with the little caps that I have. Do not do that because there's pressure that creates in there. Although I clean it out. It's not my slinky is not stinky. So I clean it out really well, but there's still a little bit of pressure in there, especially when you're driving, different elevation changes, barometric pressure and everything else. So when I opened it, it was like so now I don't do that anymore. And the compartments itself, there is enough air that goes in and out. Here is your solar. If you do have portable solar, you can plug it in right there, put your solar panels off to the side. We don't have that right now. We're not boondocking. All right, here's a note, okay? Because this is the in-depth, right? We got the RV. It's awesome, cool, right? Things move when you're driving. I've had to tighten down each of these locks multiple times already. So note, make sure that you're constantly checking, because if your screw comes really loose, if your screw comes really loose, it might swing down, and then you can't get your compartment open because it's swung down and it's stuck there. You can't twist it to get it up so you can open the compartment. So constantly check these to make sure that they will turn, and you don't want to be in that predicament. So especially on some of these that only have one latch.
How's that being held up?
Oh, so it's just magnet. It's
cool.
Real easy. Bam. Simple. Easy peasy. Holds it up. It's awesome. I will say one thing that we, I mean, we're not upset over it, but one thing that would have been nice is if there was, the awning went farther, but they can't because the way the shape of the RV is. But if you really do want to get into your compartment and you want to keep a little bit of the rain off you, you can bring up your window and use it as an umbrella while you're trying to get things and hand them to your family. So, all right. So we're moving on. When we first got the RV, we did this is an upgrade. We decided to do the keyless entry, and the keyless entry is great. The first one we had issues with it. We took it to Southland RV. They switched it out, no problem. It has worked like a champ. When we do store the RV or we leave for like a long hike, we do lock the top part, which is like a deadbolt. So this lock is good, but the deadbolt part is like even better. It's just a lot better. This window right here,
which every RV has.
Which every RV has.
Most of them.
Mookie's gonna probably talk about it a little bit more, but this has been a source of frustration for me. I need it could be to be completely dark when I sleep, and there is no shade for this window, and Mookie will show you that on the inside, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. All right, so handle, you can bring it in, out, or this way if you are one of those people that doesn't go towards the door. I think every RVer we've met that drives always puts their handle towards the door as an extra block. And that was
an option. So
that, it was? I didn't know.
Yeah, that was an option that we added on.
Okay. So another like missed part, I guess, I would say with the Lance 1575, I love this awning. I love it. It is awesome. It works. If it's too windy, it will shut by itself. You just have to make sure that your door's shut. And if it's not, I'm sure that the awning will make sure it will shut your door. Here's the problem, is when your awning's out, the door touches the awning. And as you can see, we're already starting to get rubbish here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll put some type of padding there. But so anytime you open the door, it's tapping against the awning itself. Let me show you how this awning works when it's windy, okay? So you might want to stand like right here. So when it starts getting too windy, it did it for me earlier. There we go.
Well, it retracted for me the other day too. I was...
It's calling me a liar. There we go. All right, I just had to shake it a little bit more. It actually takes quite a bit. But you see, nobody's inside and it just shut itself. So that's really cool. And if you guys look out at different RV parks, you will see most of the awnings have something broken on them. And it's because they leave it out when it's windy out and something ends up breaking, like an arm or whatnot. The Lance has these auto awnings, so you don't have to worry about it. If it gets too windy, that thing's gonna shut. So pretty neat, right? And you get to see it in action. All right, moving on. All right, so this light will go white or yellow if you wanted to for bugs. When you cook in your kitchen, you have to make sure you open this vent right here, just to allow some ventage.
Escaping the heat.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mookie's gonna explain to you later on that even with this vent open, it's a very small RV, I take out the battery for the for the smoke detector. Here's your TV mount if you want to watch TV outside. We actually do a projector and a projector screen. Here is your park cable outlet. Here's a cigarette adapter and then two USB plugs. Right here is regular outlets for the tires. You want to keep these at 65 PSI. We check them before every time we drive. Every single time. We have to put that on our list. Although we remember every time, it's not on our list and we need to update our list anyways. All right, so right here, this is just an extra storage. You would think like, what am I gonna do with this little storage, right? We actually use it. So we put our projector screen in there and we put our thermocells in there. So for those of you guys that don't know, you can check it out. Thermocell, it is the best anti-mosquito device out there. We love it. Right here is a mount for a external Bluetooth speaker that is on the inside, and you'll see it. That's right. So one thing you'll notice on the Lance 1575 is this is not a full bumper, and they do this to save on weight. So you're not going to mount bicycles back here, and that's why we have the bike mount on the front. You're not going to mount anything on here. This is really just a little bit of extra protection for the back of your RV, and that's all it is. You can see there's a window back here, pretty neat. Looks like we're gonna have to take. Looks like we're gonna have to take the RV in because our seal is actually coming undone. So there, you get to see that. See that?
Yep.
Okay. So I forgot what this is called, but this is how our slide comes in and out. I wish I knew the name of it. We do use dry lube for our slide, and I dry lube it after every single use. So I make sure I clean the RV, I dry it out completely, I make sure it's dry, and then I dry lube the rails. So moving on, it's a little tight because we got the bush here, but you can use this storage for anything you want. I decided to use this for our Anderson blocks, our Camco blocks, and for anything that has to do with water. So we have the storage, well, water and some starter blocks. So you can see we have our water hoses here, some gloves. We have our water regulator. We have our water filter. I have some propane to start things, and then we have anything else that has to do with water. So this is our water bin basically. It's also parts of our Stinky Slinky is here, and same with our block to keep the Stinky Slinky up off the ground. Some RV parks require those, so make sure you grab one. The RV park we just came from required it, and I'm glad that we had it because it would have been, the flow would have been interesting. So here you can see, here is the power connection. This is our satellite and park that go from the RV park to your connection. One RV park had awesome TVs, the last one went to had, or connection, the last one went to had nothing. So outside shower, we said we would never use the outside shower. We have used it multiple times, especially for our dogs to wash off their feet and whatnot. It's not a retract, you gotta stuff it back in when you're done with it, but it works well. Here is city water. So you plug in, we use the anti-gravity hoses for our city water. And here is your water fill for your 26-gallon freshwater tank. And we have ours 3/4 full right now, or 2/3 full. This is for the Truma, it's just a vent. And this is another vent for the Truma, and this is a vent for the refrigerator, and so is that one. Here is the other part of the storage. We keep a big toolbox because you just never know what you're gonna need. And you can see right here, this is for your stabilizers. We use this guy. It just makes it so much easier, so much faster. You just plug it in, You can see how it's shaky now. And that's it. So this is our electric box. We keep everything electric in this box, just like we kept everything water in that box. And then here's some more components that go with the RV. And just like the other side, we have 2 lights, storage lights, and there's another button for a front light, and you can show them that front light, and our battery disconnect. So when we store it, we do turn it off and we take the key out to make sure that we're not burning any battery. Do you want to show them the front with the lights on?
Sure.
These lights.
So these lights are fun when we're traveling.
Well, they're also useful
at night if you're setting up in the dark.
Setting up in the dark. It's very useful because there is stuff that you need to take care of.
Yeah. The other thing we wanted to point out was the awning over the slide. So,
oh yeah, so that was an addition also. So you can see right here, it's called a Carefree awning, and it keeps it debris and whatnot from falling on top of your slide. So that way when you're leaving the RV park, you don't have to make sure you wipe off anything that was on top of it. The awning takes care of it for you. Lance does not recommend you standing on top of the Lance 1575. It's not sturdy enough for it. So you're not going to go up there and use a broom to take off the debris off of your slide out. So we got that awning that goes on top, and it's awesome. It works great.
Yeah, we just spent time in the Great Smoky Mountains, and it's fall, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, tons of leaves were falling down and tons of rain.
Yes.
So you can see here also, Lance has decided to put spouts, like downspouts. There's actually a gutter system on the RV itself, and it's super useful. It keeps all the water just to fall in certain areas, so it's just not sliding off and falling on top of you the whole time. I've liked it. So all right, I think that's pretty much everything on the outside. One thing we did do that's very important, I recommend every RVer does, is measure how tall your RV is and write it down. And I'm going to show you that here in a second. So our RV is exactly 10 feet tall. From front to back of the RV to the vehicle is 38 feet long. And how do I know this? Glenn, or Flash, or whatever you want to call me. We have, and I didn't talk about this actually, we have a backup camera, and we plug it right up there, and I wrote down 10 feet up, 38 feet long. That way I know when I'm driving, I don't have a freak out moment and go, how tall is this thing? Are we gonna make it under this bridge, or are we gonna make it in this tunnel? We went through a lot of tunnels. But the camera is right here, and it works awesome. It is really cool.
Makes it much easier for passing.
Oh, you have a rear view mirror. So most people with an RV don't have a rear view mirror because you have this big giant thing that's following you really closely. We have a rear view mirror, and we use it for that. When we're passing vehicles or just whatnot, backing up, it's awesome. And here's those blocks that I was talking about. So you can see I have 3 Camco blocks here, and it's just because it was just too far to the ground. It just wasn't making it, so put some blocks down. I'm back. All right, so you guys watch the slide going. Pretty simple. We have had no issues. We just, before we let the slide out, we always come out here. It is exactly the same length of if my back is to the RV to my fingertips. That is exactly how long our slide is. So we use that every time just to make sure we're not gonna hit anything. Down here, which I didn't wash it off, it's just dirty. It's not anything like.
It's not stinky dirty. It's mud dirty from traveling.
Yeah, it's not anything dirty. Oh man, Maren didn't shut that all the way. But that's all right. We have no gray water anyways. So here's your black tank, and here's your gray tank, and your outlet. So just to show you guys where it's at. Remember, when you're flushing your tanks, remember your black tank, you want it to be at least 2/3 full. I try to be more than 2/3 full. I try to be almost full before you flush it. Flush it out, and then what I do, which a lot of people probably don't, I shut the black tank. I come back here. This is a black tank flush, so I have another hose just for that. I plug it in here, which Lance, if you're watching this, it's very hard
very difficult
put the hose in here because it's very tight, as you can see.
And the way it attaches is...
Yeah, if these were just a little bit wider, I would be... or out just a little bit far, like I'm talking like a ½ an inch would make it the world of a difference. So I put it in there, and I run it until it's 3/4 or 2/3 full again. I turn the water off, unplug it, and then I flush it again, and you will always get some extra stanky stuff that comes out. So I try to keep my black tank as clean as possible, and then after I do 2 black tanks, I flush the gray tank. Now if you're boondocking, that's not going to happen for you, so you're going to have to be wise about how you flush your tanks. That's how I do it. Other than that, that's the jam.
So as far as fresh water, it's 26 gallons, and our holding tanks are 26 gallons.
Yeah, so
too?
every single tank we have is 26 gallons. So 26 gallons fresh water, 26 gallon gray tank, and 26 gallon black tank. And if you're new at RVing like we are, you will find out that you go through water and your tanks fill up much faster than you would expect. We're not wasteful people. We're actually very smart about how we do things, but it definitely still fills up fast. It's only 26 gallons. Even the black tank gets full over time. So, and we're pretty smart about that too. So just be wary. Make sure you're always checking the gauges. We're constantly checking, and that's it.
Come on in. So I'm gonna start over in this area. When you come in the door to the Lance 1575, you've got a residential queen size mattress here. We have found that awesome to have a queen size mattress. We did put a mattress cover on it that has about 1 inch of padding, and the mattress is pretty firm even though it's a residential mattress, so we're talking about getting some extra foam padding for that.
Actually, for normal people, that mattress
might be okay.
Is actually really nice. It's just we both need a very soft mattress, so we're, you know, yeah, most people don't need as soft of a mattress as we do. So
I'm going to just lift up this cover. This cover is standard, comes with it. You have your choice of colors in the Lance models. It's chocolate, navy, blue, or they call it royal, I guess, and gray, or platinum.
Yeah.
We went with the royal blue navy color. This is the shade of comforter that comes with it. We just left it on. The sheets are being cleaned, so they're not in here. Mattress cover is on. This piece of foam is extra foam that we ordered custom from foamfactory.com. And
we're not affiliates, and nor do we get paid at all.
No.
We get paid by no one, or from no one.
But while our daughter uses that, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So underneath here, underneath the mattress, you actually have a storage door.
Well, lift the whole mattress up. What's underneath there? Nothing.
Nothing is underneath here.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool though if it did lift up to be storage.
So I filled out the Lance manufacturing survey just a couple days ago, and I said if this mattress was on like a hydraulic hinge and I could open it to get to the storage underneath, that would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
Because right now I have this access door that goes to that huge storage area underneath. We like to keep right here by the door the Lance manuals so that when something goes awry, we can easily access
and remember,
information.
we are new RVers, so we're still learning.
We have all kinds of things happen that we need to use the manuals. So we have dogs. It'd be nice to be able to like reach their dog food and not have to go outside and come back in to get it.
And we keep our laundry in there because it just stays out of the way. There's a lot of storage on this model, but it's all outside.
Well, and we have to think too, we are 3 grown people. Our daughter is a teenager. So we're 3 adult-sized people, a chocolate lab, and a small dog. So that's essentially 5 people
Yeah.
in the RV. Okay, moving on. So Glenn earlier was talking about the door. And I'm just gonna come back here and shut the door. And you see this nice window right here, which is great during the day to let in natural light, but really sucks when your head is right over here and you're trying to sleep and it's, you know, 6:30, 7 a.m. the sun is rising and it's coming right in this window and right into your eyes. Or if you're in an RV park that has lights above, it's coming right in.
Yeah.
Now Lance did a really, really good job of shades for all of the other windows, including all of the vents and the skylight. There are shades for each one of those, and I'll show you that a little bit later.
Yeah. And it gets pitch black in the RV when everything's shut, except for that door. So we ended up putting aluminum foil and taping around it just to keep it dark so I can sleep.
Even with the aluminum foil, there's a lot of ambient light from the stereo, the microwave, the blue light on the TV, you know, when it's off. It all reflects, so that all made a difference, and we're gonna fix it.
We're not complaining. It's just something that we just gotta work
something
through.
that we would do differently. So on the windows, each of the windows has the screen that's here.
It's awesome.
And you can open it up and slide it. You can keep it connected actually if you wanted to. Yeah. And slide it. I don't know.
Those are pitch. They are awesome. Lance, you did a great job with these.
So these shades are magnificent, just like Glenn said. You can shut it and it keeps out all light. You can shut it and it helps with this as a sound barrier. I have to say that the Lance already, the sound barrier is amazing. We had neighbors at our last RV park and their dog was yapping.
2 of them. Never stopped barking.
Oh my gosh, they didn't stop barking the entire time we were there. When we were outside, we could hear the barking. If we had the windows open, which was a little warm, so we had the air on, but if we had the windows open, you could hear them barking. With the windows closed, you could hear nothing. Nothing. We were next to a busy street, you could hear nothing.
In fact, a lot of complaints at the RV park we were at, they complained about the highway noise, and we heard no highway noise at all, and we were the closest site to the highway. So great job on that.
Yeah. So another thing on the windows, if you come out here, they have
let me come out
here. They have little knobs that you screw or unscrew to open and close. Glenn's got a little tight there. And it just slides down. Come on back in.
I'm trying. The camera's not. What is it doing? Hi. Let's go all the way around. I'm hitting left and it's going right.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm still learning this also, apparently.
There's always something in life to learn. So inside, you can either close the window all the way, and each one of these latches closes shut, or if you wanted to vent the window, like we did yesterday, it was like 69 degrees outside.
68, yeah, 67.
And we were in the mountains and we wanted to go for a hike, but we didn't want to take our big dog because she's old. We put her in the RV. We vented the windows, which locks them still. So you can vent the windows, keep them locked, and you don't have to worry about somebody like trying to climb in through your window while you're gone.
And we use the Fantastic to keep it cold too, and she'll show you that.
So that is it with the windows.
Package.
over here, don't mind me.
Got a package. I'll pause it here in a minute.
At the queen size bed, on each side, you've got lighting. So these lights are adjustable. They move. If you touch it once, it's the little blue light behind there. It
like a night light.
Like a night light, ambient lighting.
That we don't use.
And then you can hit the button the second time, and it turns on the reading light. So that's okay. So coming around this way, if you look down in here, Glenn's got a little pad down here, but there's a really deep storage area. I like the storage area. I would almost like more closet space. I'm not going to say that I don't want the storage area at all, because the storage area is great to like set your phone in or put your keys in.
The other thing you have,
like that.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing you have storage is this whole ledge right here. Whoever's sleeping on this side, you can use it basically as storage when you're not driving.
Yes. So what I've done is taken a 10-foot phone charger, plugged it into the USB port under the mattress, and I charge my phone over here at night when I'm sleeping. Glenn puts his phone in here. You can plug in, there's a second USB port, a 12-volt place for a car charger, like that have the double ports, so you can plug in multiple things, and then an actual outlet. Up here is our air conditioning, and with the air conditioning is pretty simple. It's like a standard Dometic air conditioning that you can set from the wall. You got everything you would have at a, you know, residential air conditioning unit to be able to set it to run on auto, or run it all the time, or just turn on the fan.
Can you run it when you're boondocking?
No.
You can only run it when you're plugged in, right?
You can only run it when you're plugged in to power. It does not run on the lithium battery. Even if we had solar power, I think we asked, I don't think we could even run it with the solar power. It will only run if it's plugged in. But
it's because we got the upgraded air conditioner, because I like to be cold also. Yes, I feel like I'm like very needy, but I'm not that needy. I just like it cold and dark when I sleep. So we got the upgraded air conditioner, and I think that's why we can only do it where it's shore power.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So over here too is the button for the slide out. As you see here, Glenn talked a little bit earlier about we know how far the slide goes out because of the way his arms are, or the length of his arms. Well, if he's ever not with me, which that may happen, I know how far the slide goes out because we wrote it down right here. It's 3 feet. 3 feet. Make sure you measure before you put it out and make sure there's nothing behind it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and push the slide out now. And you have to actually hold this button down for the slide to go out. The awning is different. It will retract and go out with one push of the button. So you just push it once and let go, and it does its thing. All right.
And with the button, when you get it extended, you want to hold it there for another like 2 or 3 seconds. And same with when you're pulling it in, you want to bring it all the way in, and when it stops, hold it there for another 2 or 3 seconds. When it goes out, hold it for another 2 or 3 seconds.
I'm gonna come back over this way. We did option the TV, so this is an option, didn't come with it. We like to lay in bed and watch TV at night. I know it's a terrible thing for some people, but
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, Friends. You know, we lay there, we watch a little TV before we go to bed. It's just what we do. You can judge us all you like. So the TV is on a swivel. I have multiple times put holes in the textured wallpaper up here because the TV, I don't know, Glenn will get it somewhere over here. I don't even know how you do it.
Because somebody tightened down this button.
Wasn't me.
Let go. All right. Here, hold this. I gotta use 2 fingers. Well, somebody tightened this down. It was you or Marin.
Oh, certainly wasn't me because I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, it must have been Marin. So it's just a locking nut to make sure. It's just a locking nut is all it is.
Okay.
So you can bring it all the way over here so you can watch it from the dinette. or you can.
So see how he's pushing it back that way? That's usually about how I get it when I'm trying to put it back. I'm not savvy enough to figure it out, I guess. The TV, we did have issues scanning channels. We figured that out. We read the manual. It's like any other TV. I don't know why we couldn't figure it out, but we couldn't. Up here is all of your attachments. So you can plug in your, what did we plug in? Nothing. You don't need to plug anything in.
You can use satellite or cable.
You can do satellite or cable, but it's already plugged into cable, and I'll show you the antenna in just a second.
But we did plug in our laptop.
So from the other side, yeah, it's like any other standard TV. You can plug in an HDMI cable or any other accessory that you'd like to plug in, and it works like it's supposed to. So we watched movies off the laptop.
Yeah, easy peasy. It's a TV. You guys know how to use TVs.
And then you figure it out and push it back, and it locks into place. So once it's locked into place, you're safe to travel. Do not travel unless it's locked into place. Coming down over here.
Oh, here's the antenna for the.
You can turn it on by the switch here. Oh, it's already on?
It was, yeah, but that's all right. But this is the antenna. You can adjust it for local channels, and then you can use the attenuator by turning the on button.
Better reception.
And, fine tune it. So.
Okay, so down over here, and we didn't talk about the stairs outside, but we can do that later. Down over here, I was complaining on one of our trips that we don't have an outlet by the sink or in the kitchen area at all.
But I showed her that you have 4.
I didn't look. So there's 2 outlets here. This key hook comes with the RV, so that's automatically there.
Super
We
handy.
use it for our flashlights, the little broom that is absolutely necessary if you go anywhere that has sand or dirt that you're going to track in. We brought the vacuum cleaner last time, but it was necessary.
Our keys. We put our keys there.
Here we've got the fire hydrant that came with the RV. Up here is a smoke detector in which when Glenn cooks, he takes out the battery because he cooks.
Well, it's a very, you could tell, it's a small RV. It's only, 15 foot 9 inches. You cook on the stovetop, and there's, it's just, it is what it is. So.
Yeah. So moving up here, since I was down over there, is your stereo. You have a stereo that you can turn on. I don't know what station we're on. Nothing.
Oh, you can't do music. I don't know what that is. Turn it off. Oh, God. Just turn it off.
What was that?
I don't know. Just keep it off. You
Anyway.
just show. It's a radio. You know how to use a radio.
Well, but there are different zones for the speakers. So there's zone A, B, and C. C's not hooked up to anything. I guess that Lance maybe used to have speakers outside.
They did used to have them
but
outside.
now they are offering a Bluetooth speaker, which I'll show you in just a minute, that you can move from the inside to the outside. At any rate, you can set your speakers, which this is a very small RV. So if you set A and or B, it's going to pretty much sound the same because you're in this.
Yeah, I will say the one thing, a flaw of the design is like, why have zones when there's really only like zone A is 2 speakers in the front, zone B is 2 speakers in the back, but it's a small RV. Just have one zone, because in order to turn down the volume, you have to turn down each zone's volume, and it's just a pain. You got to go through it's whatever. We don't really use the radio, so it's not that big a deal.
We turn it on for the dogs.
It's a flaw though.
So here is your interior lights. You can turn on this light here, and that's this light behind me. The other lights have a little switch. So this light has a little switch there. You just flip it on or off.
And the awning?
Yeah, we can do the awning.
Okay. I'm gonna come out and you can view it. You can talk, but I don't think they're gonna hear you. So she's pressing the extend button. So you gotta turn the on button for the awning, and then you just hit the extend button once and it automatically does it. It's not like the slide out where you have to hold the button down. You just tap it once and let it go. Wait, Mook.
I'm watching. So the door has to be shut.
I don't think they can hear you, babe. I'm pretty far away. So you want to keep the door shut all the way. We keep someone outside. No, there it is.
is awning lights, which are the LED lights.
Which is pretty cool.
Those are optional. That is definitely a really good feature to have. And then Glenn mentioned earlier the patio light. There's the orange light for bugs or turtles, and then the white light.
That's right, turtles.
So, did I cover everything over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back over here to the closet area. Here we have a closet area. We can hang pretty much 3 people's stuff in here.
Or Mookie stuff.
No, we hung all your shirts in there.
Or one shirt in there.
So you have this whole...
Yes, I did get to put my rain jacket in there.
You have this whole... Shush. You have this whole top space here. You can shove a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, and we do put the vacuum in there. We have a little Dyson.
It runs on a battery, so it's convenient. And then down here is another area where you can store stuff. This basket just barely fits underneath, so you don't have much space like height-wise down here because you've got whatever is behind
the storage.
here. No, that's not the storage.
That's the storage. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well you got
storage.
Yeah. See, and I would have maybe done that a little bit differently and had the storage like come to here, so I could have had more height there. But I don't manufacture lamps, so in here.
I like the storage, so I don't get closet space, so that little storage is nice for me.
In here, I have some like stuff that we always keep in the RV, not for him, but for me and our daughter. A hair dryer, hair straightener, like a travel size.
We got some flashlights and batteries.
Flashlight, batteries for the flashlight, the Dyson charger, so in case we need to charge it. But that basket, I usually put all my clothes in there, and everything fits in there as far as like pants, shorts, socks, those sorts of things.
We're weekend warriors, so we have tons of time.
All of my shirts go up there.
Or we don't take up a lot of space.
Shoes. We do bring an extra bin for shoes because we go hiking, we go kayaking, we require all different kinds of shoes, and so that shoe bin actually we store by the water outside.
Yeah. Like we biked Cades Cove this last weekend and it was awesome.
I'm gonna get down on the floor. Oh. Here, why don't I open that? We can fix that.
Nice. We're drying out the fridge.
So down here, this is not storage, but it is a compartment that opens where you can see your hot water heater, some of your water lines. I wouldn't know anything about this, which is why I utilize the manual. We are actually going to bring in the manual for the Truma before we store the RV so that we can read up on the Truma. I know that the holding tank is not very large, but our hot water showers are literally like 2 minutes.
Yeah, at most you're getting maybe a 3-4 minute shower and that's it. And you get one.
Yeah. Also down here, an extra that we added is the Level Mate Pro.
Oh yeah.
This is an excellent tool to help you level your RV. And you just put the app on your phone, you look at your app, if it's level, it makes it very easy to move it around the way you need it to. So we do like the Level Mate Pro. It
takes a little like CR 2025 battery. You just turn on when you get there and then, oh, that's on. Turn it off when you're not using it. Turn it on when you get there.
Also down on the floor, so some RVs you will note that they have vents in the floors. Well, this is a small RV, there are no vents in the floor. So you'll see along the bottom here, these brown vents, that's for the heat. So when we have heat on, which we probably will never use the heat, that is where it will come out of.
We'll see.
We have a Norcold refrigerator. This is a brand new refrigerator, as opposed to the brand new refrigerator that was in the unit when we bought it. Yeah. We had trouble on our first RV trip where the refrigerator did not work at all. We had it plugged into power. We had it running on propane. We plugged it in when we got to the place. It had been on power for almost 48 hours and the refrigerator still was not cold. So we called the Southland RV on Saturday while we were on our trip and we were saying the refrigerator is not working. There's simply something wrong with it. And they said, okay, bring it in. So we did. The following Tuesday, we took it in and they replaced it. They had to replace it because apparently there was a problem with a batch of the Norcold refrigerators. It wasn't just us. It was several people, unfortunately.
And it happens. I mean,
so
things happen. No big deal. As long as, I mean, then they fixed it. So we have no complaints.
Inside the refrigerator, we have decided to put in thermometers in the refrigerator and the freezer, just to make sure that you know, food safety, our food's not going to spoil, and we can detect if there's an issue right away. This refrigerator size is perfect for a weekend. That's really all we're doing right now, our weekend trips. So we have plenty of space for everything we need.
What temperature does the refrigerator park in?
About, what does it get? It gets about 30 degrees. You really should have it about at least, well, between 30 and 34 degrees. Below 32 it could freeze, so you just have to watch your stuff. 34 to keep food from being bad. The freezer up here is always 0. It's about 0 or 10 degrees.
Cold.
It's cold.
And it makes ice.
The first refrigerator, the ice melted. Like, we bought a bag of ice and put it in there thinking, oh, it might stay cold. No, it did not.
Yeah.
Okay, up here is the Truma. I'm not even going to pretend to know how to operate this thing, because I push buttons and then things just come up and I pretend I know what I'm doing, but I don't.
See, here, I'll talk about it. Let's see if you can see it. I think you can see it now. Yeah. So this one right here is the heater on. So you just turn it to whatever temperature you want, and it looks like it's probably, yeah, that's in Fahrenheit. So you can put it to whatever temperature you want. Make sure you turn it off. You click on it. Then this is the hot, go back one. This is the hot water heater. So you can see this is eco, hot, and boost. And any setting you have for us, we're only getting a 2 to 4 minute shower. So like I said, make sure you turn it off when you leave. And this is how your Truma is working off of. We have it on electric too. And then let's see what else. Let's see. Okay. Oh, and then here's a fan if you want to do a fan, and then there's some maintenance things that you can do. We don't do those. You can also set up a timer for when you want the heater to go on, or when you want the hot water to go on, or whatnot. But we haven't messed with those. We really have only used the hot water.
Yes. As much as it was. All right.
We're back. So, I don't know where we cut off at, but I hope you guys got all our Truma.
Moving on over to the kitchen area. There are galley lights here. One is for the soffit, which is just up here, and then one for the sink, which is right up here. Yeah. I'm like, where is it? I'm not there yet.
Okay, but same lights.
So, yes, there's a strip of lights here. That's the sink lights. There's some storage up over here.
Which, do not put anything up here if you're driving. It will fall off.
Yes, we usually put up here like chapstick, change, like random odd things that you just...
And take it down before we drive.
That you need to store someplace, but there's no place to store it. So up here, we have our dishes. We've got bowls, all kinds of bowls, plates. We keep our coffee mugs. If I bring bread or whatnot, I usually put up here. We have coffee filters. There's still tons of space up there to utilize that we just don't have a need for it.
Put the coffee in there.
I could.
Less space.
Lids to the wine glasses. Ooh, oops. Measuring cup, because you never know when you're going to measure something. We do cook. We do a lot of cooking in the camper or on the fire, so we definitely utilize those things. The sink area, you'll notice that there's not a lot of counter space. Glenn hates that this is over the sink, but...
Not always.
I love it, because otherwise you'd have literally no counter space. This is it. We use this all the time. We will take this off the cover and just, you can pretty much throw it anywhere.
It is. It's so deep. It's a good deep sink.
It is. And the faucet is amazing. You can pull it down, you can spray around. It's got 2 different settings on the nozzle, so you can spray or you can have like a steady stream. I'll put that back. Over here, I'll get to that. Over here.
Or the
fantastic fan.
Yeah.
Over here is the stove. We did the optional 3-burner stove. Never know when you might need to use it. We probably won't ever use 3 burners, but it's there. I think the standard is a 2-burner or maybe even a 1-burner. I wonder though, now that I'm thinking about this, as I'm complaining about counter space, if it were a 1-burner stove, or even just a 2-burner if you'd had more counter space.
No, it's the same width.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason we went to a 3-burner stove is because it was like a $40 upgrade. So it was like whatever.
Over here you've got the fan. You turn that on when you're cooking, pretty much any time.
And that fan goes out to where we showed you on the outside, yeah.
But anytime you're cooking in here, whether you think it smells like it's burning or there's like smoke or whatnot, you should always have it on, because if you're cooking with propane and you're in small space like you are in an RV, you have to vent it. Otherwise, you could die. There is a light over the stove here, and then this starts on it's got its own pilot, or not pilot. What do you call it?
Igniter.
Igniter. Thank you. It has its own igniter. You can start the stove from there. The oven
is a pain to start.
Is actually, I find I have no trouble with it anymore. I've used it enough that I know how to do it.
I can't.
The only problem with the oven, and again, I don't think really Lance has that much control over this, because it's an RV oven. Yeah. So you have to be on your knees, down under here, with your hand here on the pilot, and your other arm in here.
In the flame.
To start the flame, to start the pilot.
Yeah. See how easy it is?
But where Glenn had trouble starting it at all,
I just can't get it lit.
I can light it every time.
Yeah.
Also down here is the fuse section. So
electrical box.
Yes. Well, electrical box, fuses. So everything down here is, your fuses. It's labeled over here. I didn't even realize that it was labeled over there.
Yeah.
Refrigerator, awning, slide out, gas detector.
You're running out of
Pretty
memory
nice.
time.
That's all right. We got more.
Okay.
So close that up. Down over here.
Here's another fuse. Make sure you check that fuse.
Oh yes. Also another outlet in the kitchen area. Down here is storage. So there is tons of storage underneath the sink. I don't know why these paper towels. We keep extra trash bags, which we use like Walmart bags for trash bags just because it's such a small space. We have trash bags, but it's a waste. So we like to throw our garbage out every night. We have dogs. We don't want it to smell. Tablecloth is usually on the picnic table. We've got a dish strainer, cutting board, 1 baking sheet in case it's needed. I keep a pot down here in case we're going to cook anything in the pot, but we also use it for storage. So when we're not traveling, soap, hand sanitizer, dish soap, all kinds of, I think I have olive oil also in a plastic bag in that pot so that it doesn't spill and make a mess. We have a coffee pot down here. Usually that stays up on the counter when we're not traveling. Graham crackers, wild turkey, apple cider, and then these are all drawers that come out, and we have all of our kitchen stuff stored in here. All of our spices, measuring cups, knives, spatulas, and then koozies, dish towels, oven mitts, and so on. Moving on, we do have a microwave. It's like any other residential microwave. You run it like you would in your house.
Easy peasy.
Over here, these are the carpet stairs, or stair carpet. Carpet for the stairs.
Our old dog does not like to walk on metal, so we had to get the carpet for the stairs so she would come in the RV without trying to jump and break her legs.
Yes. So underneath the dinette on both sides is storage. I'll just show you one of these. At night, we put these up. During the day or whatnot, we keep them down there. But you just snap it up like that, and it covers it, and it keeps it completely dark in here. There is one for every thing on the ceiling.
See?
This is a sunroof.
See?
Come back. This sunroof, or skylight, or whatever you want to call it, has its own shade like that if you wanted to close it. let in a little bit of natural light, but then it also has a shade that snaps over it.
It's so dark.
And it's so dark. Why can't the door have a shade?
I know. The only thing, I love everything else about this RV, but no shades.
On this side, also storage. It's very deep. It goes all the way back in there. Our daughter stores all of her bedding in there. The only thing she doesn't store in there is her foam pad. We had that foam pad custom made for this area. So this table breaks down.
Well, we got to break it down. It's in depth. This is an in-depth video.
Okay.
You got to in-depth it, lady.
You can put those in here. So.
Do you want me to do it?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. So the
she puts that across.
No. Pole we take down and stick underneath. And then, oh, she's beating the crap out of this, isn't she?
Yeah, she slides it.
This just comes down on that area.
Take out that pad.
This comes out completely, and we usually just tuck it right underneath here. This slides over. This pulls out, slides under. It's like Tetris. And then this comes out. Come on now. There. So you can see this is perfect for at least one person. If you have two little people, we have determined that they can sleep opposite ends.
Or you can sleep side. It's actually pretty wide. I mean, it's...
It is. So with the foam padding, so I had that custom cut to fit the size of this like 100%. But you have to take this piece down. So we'd have to take that piece down. You can just tuck it in a corner or just lay it against the back if you like. And then the foam pad fits on. That's there.
She lets the foam pad hang over and she just leaves it on there and it works fine. But the mattress, the padding on this couch is really comfortable.
So sitting, it's great. Laying, again, it must be our family. We
We're
like,
just like
really
soft beds.
Up over the dinette is storage as well. There's absolutely nothing in there. We could fit a lot more stuff. But we use this, or we let our daughter use that for whatever she wants.
We don't need more stuff.
Over on that side, we have our card games and things like that in that area. So let me go back over here really quick before we go to the very last part of the RV. Up here is our fantastic fan. It runs on a remote control.
And you see, you press it. You can press it. You can go manual, or you can go manual, or you can. Oh, that's right. You press down and up for automatic. And you can see here it says the temperatures on the side here of what temperature you want the fan to run. So like here it's at 70 and the temperature is about 70 right now, so the fan's not going. If I bring it down lower though to 65, you'll see the fan will run. And what it's doing is it's pulling the hot air out of your RV instead of trying to push in air. So you can see whichever temperature you want it at and it will all run. We do have the rain sensor. For some reason it's off right now and I need to fix that. But that's just a matter of just hitting buttons. Or you can do manual. You just press the button again and it shuts down automatically. Sorry, I didn't even steal your thunder. I'm just the one that works it, so.
Alright, moving back over this way. We do have a bathroom that has a toilet, tub, and shower. It is small. So just like the hot water goes fast, it is for a small bathroom. So if you come on in here, Glenn.
There's no room for me to come in there.
Come on in. There's a medicine cabinet above the toilet with a mirror. And we can store extra toilet paper up here. There is an outlet in here, a fan in here with a vent. This opens. And I knew that was going to happen.
Usually nothing falls out though.
Well,
so that's actually surprising.
Well, no. I will say, if you don't have stuff packed in here and you've moved, it does fall out. I have opened this and had everything fall out of me. If you're at an angle, it's falling out. Are you trying to look up my nose?
It's the camera's a wide angle, so you're like surprised, you know.
Yeah. So just
hi.
hi. So inside the medicine cabinet, obviously we have medicine and whatever, and I try to keep things in the RV so that I don't have to pack when we're leaving. So hairbrush, comb, sunscreen, mouthwash, deodorant, stuff like that. We do have hydrogen peroxide and alcohol just in case. I usually have a little medicine kit that is up here that's got Band-Aids and Advil and Tylenol and things like that in it. But we need to replenish it, so I have that inside right now so that I can add some stuff to it. We put up Command shower caddy over here.
Why don't you get out and I'll go in and you can talk about it.
You can fit 3 full-size bottles of something, a bar of soap, a razor, what have you, and then you can see here over here the shower head is adjustable, so it will go up and down as you need it to. You can turn it off and on as you need it to from the shower head itself. We utilize this shower head by pulling it down, well, at least I do, to wash my hands, because as you'll notice, there is no sink in here. If you want to wash your hands, you either have to go to the kitchen and wash your hands or use hand sanitizer. I like to wash my hands in here.
So I'm 6'1", and if you see, I could fit in here perfectly. Well, this is a cool feature that Lance has put. Do you need to back up at all? No?
No.
Okay. So the shower curtain actually comes out and around, and now I have a little bit more room. It's still a little tight for me. I'm a little big. 6'1", like two something. So, but you can see I have headroom. If this thing wasn't here, it'd probably, I don't know, it'd be a little bit tighter.
You'd be bending your knees.
Yeah. But the shower head does come on. It hits me in the heads. I have to bend down to get my my head. But it works perfect. But like we said earlier, hot water only lasts 2 to 4 minutes, and then it goes from hot to ice cold.
Freezing cold.
It's like the tundra.
So we also did, there's no size rug that can fit down here in this little area. And when people were getting out of the shower, I found that it's getting wet, water's pooling in certain areas when they're dripping off and so forth. So I have a towel that I hang on the back of this rack. I have to fold it over twice because you don't want it to hang down or you cannot get the toilet lid up. But I hang the towel here just for the purpose of putting it on the floor. It's like our little bath mat. Mm-hmm. Toilet is a standard marine RV toilet.
Hit the button. Yeah.
There's no water.
Yeah.
But you just hit the button there.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Water will come in.
Down here is a toilet paper holder. So I said I have extra toilet paper above the medicine cabinet, but down in here is a toilet paper holder. You just stick your toilet paper down in there, close it, and that keeps it secure and dry.
And make sure you use RV toilet paper.
Yes.
Because it breaks apart easier.
We have hooks. We use command hooks for shower or towels.
Yeah.
This is textured wall. So this command hook probably will not last that much longer. One has already fallen off. So we're gonna have to refigure that out.
Note to Lance though, if you're watching this, it would have been cool. It would be cool if you guys added some hooks like that, like just 2 of them for right there would have been great. And there is a plug up there that
I mentioned it earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
But 2 of these hooks right here would have been awesome. You want to talk about the door and how
oh my gosh, this door is so frustrating.
Yeah, so
if you want to see me shut the door, I can't.
It doesn't latch. I'm going to adjust it. But the Lance 5075 used to have a sliding door, and I don't know why they don't do it anymore, but I think a sliding door would have actually been
a pocket door.
A pocket door.
Or even a sliding door.
A sliding door. No, a sliding, like a barnyard sliding door, I think would have been a little bit better. Because you don't need a lock. The RV is small. You don't need a lock.
I just need it to close.
Yeah.
But you cannot get this to stay shut, even coming in here.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, pulling on it. It's not shutting. Yeah.
This thing is so far back that this stays bent the entire time.
Yeah.
There's no way it latches.
But that's an easy fix that I'll do probably next time, because we're going to go for a run in a little bit.
One more thing to show you. So down under here is more storage. I mentioned the storage underneath the dinette area. So there is storage in these dinette areas here. We keep bath towels, beach towels, also with the shades that go above. But down here is more storage. And right now it's a little messy. There are, there's foil.
Can we take the tape out too?
Parchment paper. The tape was for the foil that we put around the window.
Yeah.
Ziploc baggies. I have a jar of peanut butter. We did put it in a bag because some of the oil leaked out. Chips, goldfish, pancake mix.
I don't think they need to know everything we're eating.
Popcorn.
You can just fit a bunch of food or whatnot. We put food in there, you can put whatever in there. But you do have to be smart about what you're packing in here, is because there is wires in here that you have to be, you just have to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to know all our food items.
I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
We're gonna go for another run?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah, there's the carbon. Oh, that's what you're at. Sorry, I was watching Mary and she went for another run. Yeah,
so
carbon monoxide detector.
You can test it. It says test weekly. And then it says green, it's on, red is alarm. So just like a
regular carbon monoxide
detector.
Alright, so one thing I want to add is we have a brand new RV, and RVs are awesome. I love the Lance. I'll tell you what, the Lance is a sturdy RV. It is a good RV. It's a great RV. I love it. For our first RV, I have very few complaints. But for those of you guys that have never owned an RV or have never owned a new RV, one thing that I highly recommend is constantly check the screws. So you will find, eventually you'll find screws and you'll be like, where does that go to? There's still some screws that we have that I have no idea where they go to. And it's because the whole RV's shaking. When you're driving, the whole thing's shaking. But one thing that I do pretty often, and I usually do it before each trip, is I go with a screwdriver and I go to every single screw. So there's screws here. I go, anywhere there's a screw, I take that screwdriver to and just make sure that it's tight. I don't try to crank it. I just make sure it's tight. And I'll tell you, a lot of the screws are very loose. So I'm glad that I've been checking them. Even in the doors, anything. One of the other things, the RV moves quite a bit. And I've had to tighten down these screws, but it's also bent these, so I just had to bend them back. You just put a screwdriver in there and pull it down a little bit. Works out fine. Same with these. And these hinges right here. So you just want to constantly go through, check your screws, and make sure they're tight. Just one more recommendation from me to you. I think that's all I got. Everything else is pretty solid. We love this RV. We absolutely love this RV.
We do.
There's just a couple of things that we would like to see changed, or we're gonna do it ourselves. With the door, with it not having any thing on it, we're probably gonna Velcro around it and put more
material,
material on it, so we can just slap it on with the rest of them and it'll be dark.
I did forget one thing.
Oh,
the Bluetooth speaker.
The Bluetooth. Oh, and the convenience center.
Oh yeah.
So water pump, turn it on. Battery. See, like I said before, lithium. We are still at full blast. Our fresh tank, I have it at 2/3 right now. Our black tank, it's because we're at an angle and the sensor is actually on the front end of the RV, so it says 2/3. It's actually not 2/3. It is probably 1/3 because we went to we left the RV park with it empty and we went hiking, and we all had to go to the bathroom, and then we kept driving home. We had to use the bathroom some more, and then you can see our gray tank is completely empty.
Yep. So the Bluetooth speaker is up here. It does come off. You can charge it from here. You can hang it on the outside.
Yeah. And if you don't have a flashlight and you need it, it comes with a flashlight, and we forgot that it did, and we were like, we need a flashlight, and
if
we
you're
did.
me and you're trying to turn on the Bluetooth speaker and you're going, what is wrong with this thing? I can't get it to turn on. Why isn't it connecting? It's because you're hitting the flashlight button and not the power button.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. Cool. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered everything. If you guys have any questions at all, please throw them at us because we are still learning the RV. If you have any tips, let us know. We're still learning. I know Glenn talked a little bit earlier about how we utilize our water. I'm still trying to learn, like, how do you wash dishes without going through, you know, gallons of water at a time? I fill up the sink. I've tried doing it that way, but then you have to, like, let the water run to rinse them and that sort of thing. And then you have 3 people that take a shower.
Yeah, and we don't like to use paper plates or anything like that, so I'd rather use water than throw a bunch of stuff away, because we don't have a lot of trash. Like, we usually go through, like, one of those food bags maybe a day. Not even that, barely. Like, we barely go through trash. We don't have a lot of trash, which is awesome. We just go through water a little bit more because we wash everything.
Yeah, but if you guys have any tips about how to conserve water while you're traveling and when you have to wash dishes and or take a shower, please let us know about that, because we are loving this and we're loving to learn everything we can, because we do want to do this more often and more frequently. So.
And if there's anything that you would like to see on the Lance 1575, let us know. We wanted to do an in-depth video, and I felt like we went pretty in-depth, but we missed things, you know. We tried to go through it systematically to make sure we didn't miss anything. And like, as I'm talking right now, I'm like looking around, like, is there anything I missed? But I feel like we got everything. I didn't show the undercarriage of the RV, but I don't feel like the need to show the undercarriage because I don't know enough about it. It's an undercarriage of an RV.
One last thing, because we keep missing things, is these lights are on a dimmer. So if you want
mood lighting,
if you want a romantic dinner in your dinette, there you go.
Oh yeah.
And then that button just turns it off or on.
But not when you have a 15-year-old. Oh no.
Anyway.
Cool. Sweet.
We'll see you later.
So earlier in our video, we talked about how one of the things that we didn't like, one of the only things we didn't like about the Lance 1575, because we love almost everything, but the one thing we didn't like is at 6 in the morning when the sun is coming up, or if you're at a campsite that has security lights, there's nothing that covers up this window, although it's what's that glass called, like textured glass, so nobody can see in. It still brings a lot of light comes in. So we decided to fix that. Oh well, here, let me back up a little bit. So we were thinking, what do we do to fix this? And first we thought, well, maybe we can put a rail right here and a rail up top, and then slide something on top,
like a
and
curtain.
Bottom like a curtain.
You can make a curtain.
Curtain. I just got done working out. As you could tell, I'm sweaty and disgusting and can't speak. So, but
there's not room.
If you see, there is not a lot of wiggle room in here. So we had to use our ingenuity and our big brain on Brad's. And what we did is we asked my mom to sew some material, some dark material. So this is a dark blue. This is 3 layers. And we asked her to sew on the back some of the Velcro. And then what we did is we bought these little hook and pile for the Velcro, and we just placed it on the window frame. And as you can see, when you put it on, you just use the Velcro. It's very simple, and it is dark. So go ahead and go inside, and you can show how dark it gets. And now I'll open it up and I'll take it off, and you can see how light it is.
So it's a bad judge with the other blinds being open. So give me just a second here. Try to get some of the other blinds shut.
All right.
Hold on.
Good. All right, so this is what it looks like with it on. And let me show you what it looks like with it off. Night and day difference. Check this out. right? Now you guys see what I'm saying? So when you're laying there, right where you're looking right there is where my head goes. And you get like some light that's just shining in at 3 in the morning. It's horrible. So this is an easy fix. And it doesn't matter what kind of RV you have. If you have a window that has no nightshade or a sunshade or covering, it 3 plies, a sewing machine. For us, it was easy. We asked my mom to come down with her sewing machine. It took $10 in the materials and a dinner for my mom. And we got to hang out with her, which was cool. And you just put it on, put it together, put the hook and pile sticks, and you are ready to go. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope we were able to give a little insight, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. All right. Hey, welcome to Adventures of Flash and Mookie.
Yep, that's
We should probably do it like, hey, welcome to Adventures of Flash and
Mookie.
or I don't know. We'll figure something out.